Yeah, yeah. Hello, hello, wonderful viewers. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome once again to the broadcast of today. Reaching out to you all from ancient Edu, where we love to do what we know how to do best. And today's program is about the fallout of events that took place in Nepal, the Nepalese People's Revolution. So that is what we came up here to highlight today. We all knew what went down in Nepal. Barely 2 weeks now. The events that turned out in Nepal. So we had to get a couple of um, videos from online sources, which is available to everyone on in the public domain, and we just have to bring it up here. You know, when the event happened in Nepal, we streamed it live, and we were meant to come back during the course of the event to look more into it, but we decided to let it roll. So we just gathered a couple of videos to talk about it. Basically, the purpose for this broadcast of today is not about Nepal, but about Africa, or perhaps about Nigeria and Africa in a broader sense. And across the globe, to all African people, either you are a Negropean or a Black American, this program is going to touch you all. But it's not going to be in this particular one of today. This is just a highlight of events. So we might touch down on the other aspects of the Africans. Yeah. To prepare you for the program or the broadcast ahead of today's broadcast. There's a roundup of what went down in Nepal. So on your screen, as you can see them moving, those are police officers in Nepal, captured by the youths, by the Gen Zs of Nepal. They were captured, you know, and they had to parade them. See? Here, we are going to show you a couple of the officers that escaped. So it's just one video after the other. That is what we are going to show you all here today. So sit tight and let us analyze this video together. Okay? All right. You see, okay, let it roll first.
Hey! Yes! Hey! What's up with that? Hey, hey! Hey! Hey, hey, hey! Hey, hey! Police ल्याउँदैछ पुलिस Hey! Yes! Hey!
So this other one here, you can see they are the Nepalese police officers on the run. After they caught a couple of them, you see, even some of the citizens had to help them because their fate was brutal. Don't get me wrong. It's not everyone that puts on the uniform that is actually corrupt. or evil. So that is why, no matter how it goes, you can still see some people with the heart of flesh willing to help. And that is exactly what these young girls, they did. They protected them. They shielded them from the mob. So, other words, their lives were saved. You all can see how they saved them from the mob. So they weren't among the ones that were captured. Okay? So we are done with this very one. We are going to jump in. We are going to jump into this other side of the video. We are going to highlight. We are going to highlight structures that were leveled down in Nepal by the Nepalese Gen Zs. Okay? We are still going to talk about it. We are going to analyze it because this program is not going to be for long. It has to be a very short one. So within 30, 45 minutes, we should be done with it. Okay? So let's move to the next one. You can see, you all can see their buildings before and after. Hold on, let me get the title out of the way. So we all can see. Yeah. These are their buildings, their parliament, their radio station, their TV station, their media houses, left. It is the taxpayers' money. It doesn't belong to the politicians. It doesn't belong to the rogue units that took them down as slaves in their own country and they got independence. That is why they had to get up and make a change for themselves. You see? And it's never a crime. It's never a crime, you know? I wanted to get the volume into it. So, that is it. You see, the judicial system, which has to do with the Supreme Court in Nepal, was weaponized by the political class. They put all manners of laws, chain the people down, point other directions towards them. Oh, it's the foreigners coming into Nepal. Oh, it's the remote workers coming into Nepal that are causing the problems in Nepal. That is why there is hardship in Nepal. That's why there is suffering in Nepal. But these Gen Zs, they have had enough of it. Come to think of it. Let's say, for instance, the total population of Nepal is 1 million. The population of the foreigners, including expats, digital nomads, tourists, they are not up to 1%, or perhaps they are not more than 1%, even if they are 5%. How can they come into the land and destroy the entire land? So the Nepalese people, the agencies, they were able to use their brains to think. I said, no, the fault is from the ruling class. And mind you all, this problem has been there for more than 2 decades, for over 20 years, over 20 solid years. So if this problem had been there for over 20 years, and the people that led the protest, 60 to 70% of them were from 13 years to 28, of which from 13 years to 18 was the largest set of Gen Z that came out from 13 years. So let us use the baseline of 13 years. A protest that was led by 13 years old Nepalese children. This was the outcome. This was the result. They shot, they killed. The police shot and killed. But the protesters refused. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you all a video. I'm going to show you all a video here, a clip, so that you all can have an understanding of how terrible it was in Nepal. This was the guy, or the person they hoped, that was the mayor in one of the Nepalese city. They hoped that he would be the president of the country or the prime minister. But eventually, they decided, the Gen Zs decided to choose a lady instead to rule the country, of which today the female is the one leading the country. So we are not going to talk about this. Or perhaps let's just talk about it briefly. You see, there was something these children said on CNN. They said they got back their country and they dealt with the corrupt ones that put them into suffering. So they chased them away. They had, see, these children, they are not joking. They burnt the minister's wife, the prime minister or whatever. They burnt the wife inside the house. There is another video where they caught, I believe should be the wife of the president or one of the ministers, and the lady gave them $1 million cash on the spot. These children took the money, they tore it apart, they destroyed the entire money. Then they gave the woman a beating of a lifetime. I'm not sure if she will survive it. What led to this anger? They said the police had the guts to kill 19 children, 19 school children coming back from school on their school uniform. The police shot them and killed them in the name of trying to protect the political criminals that are ruling the country. So that was where the protest had to go out of control. They chased away the politicians. They got back their country. They went ahead. They burnt down the media house, burnt down the TV station, the radio station, the newspaper companies or industries, whatsoever. But entire media was set ablaze by these children and the Supreme Court. Do you know why? The media was a tool, or perhaps it's a tool that is being used to control people and change the narratives. The media is a tool that they use to tell lies without conscience. And these children were fed up of the lies. So they had to attack that media house. You saw the videos there. They brought it down. It is their money. They pay the tax. So they have the right to destroy what is corrupt. And they did that. But something funny happened. Because here I saw, I don't know if it's Commando or Rambo that took place in Nepal. And you always see
corrupt Nepal politician and police escaped by helicopter.
So now, that is the Rambo event that took place there. These are politicians, corrupt politicians, being taken out from the mob through helicopter. Look at the way they clung on tight to the rope or whatsoever that they use. This is just one of the scenes where helicopter had to fly them out. They are so corrupt that their sky-rise buildings don't even have a helicopter landing point at the top of it, as most Western nations do have. Or perhaps maybe they might, but they were not close by there. But in most Western countries, any sky-rise building must surely have a helicopter landing point at the top. But what were these people doing with the money? The political class. Their children had to live a 5-star lifestyle of a celebrity, driving the Porsche cars, living a La Vida Loca lifestyle. Why? The taxpayers, they suffer. So they said enough is enough. That is their politician. Just one scene out of many. They had to run. In Nepal, not Africa, not in Africa. Okay. So that is one scene that will give every single African politician, more especially the ones in Nigeria, a nightmare to think about, because the moment of reckoning is here. It's here. But does the Africans have the spine to do this? Does the Nigerians, do they have the spine to do this? No. The black man is an embodiment of failure. The black man is a virus to creation. I'm coming. This is ancient to do. We are never ever going to take it lightly with the blacks, more especially with the Igbos and Nigerians. We are not going there. We always bring your foolishness to you, and we are not careful of the type of words that we use to describe you. So long as you remain black, you are useless. So let's go there. Now, this is another scene of event. You can see the Saladin tank pouring them hot water. They refused. They kept on moving. You can see the officers were running for their dear lives. These people kept on moving. They captured a lot of officers. They destroyed. They terminated. Look at the officer running. Why the Saladin tank was shooting, but they refused. They kept on moving. They said enough is enough. They want their country back. Did they get their country back? Yes, they did. They did. In a grand style.
In Nepal, Parliament and the Prime Minister's home have been set on fire as violent unrest which began as anti-corruption.
So, this one, we are going to let the newscaster analyze whatever that he wants to analyze here, so that you all can listen attentively to this. We'll come back. We are still here. We'll come back.
Nepal, Parliament and the Prime Minister's home have been set on fire as violent unrest which began as anti-corruption protests shows few signs of slowing down. On Monday, police opened fire on protesters with live ammunition, killing 19 people, wounding more than 100 and sparking national outrage. In the aftermath, Nepal's Parliament building in Kathmandu has been stormed by demonstrators and set ablaze. The residents of Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli, among dozens of politicians' homes and government buildings torched. And amid the chaos, 900 inmates have escaped from 2 prisons. The government reversed a ban on social media in the country, and Nepal's Prime Minister has now resigned, but it's done little to stop the rioting. Nepal's army has now warned it may step in to take control of the streets. The Australian government is urging restraint and warning Aussies in Nepal to avoid the demonstrations, and has expressed its condolences to those protesters who have been killed and their families. In Nepal, Parliament and the Prime Minister's home have been set on fire.
You all can see what the newscaster said. Then there's a side he touched on that I need to highlight here. That was why I let the video play. He said that Australia had been calling for restraint, asking the protesters to slow down. Okay. It's easy for outsiders or the Western aligned countries or those that are down with the Western principle to come out to talk rubbish at this point. Australia, the entire West, they knew that the Nepalese system is grossly corrupt, rotten to the core. They know. Everyone knows. But they kept on dealing with these people. They kept on transacting with a corrupt set of people that are leading a country. Now the citizens got fed up and said, enough is enough. So what will the West do? No, don't take it like that. Don't be animals. Don't be, just relax. It can be worked out through dialogue. That is stupidity. They can say that to black people. Black people are useless. So anything you tell a black man is good so long as you're a foreigner. Maybe you are a white person or a Westerner. Even Chinese, anything you tell a black man is good. They accept it. Because a black man was created not to think. The black man was created as a beast of body. The black man can tolerate anything and everything you throw at him, so long as you give him food. No, I don't have an apology for this. This is ancient do. If you want to get mad, go ahead. After all, you are black, so I don't blame you. Your DNA has the inscription of foolishness. That's why you are black. That's why you are black. What sparked up this protest in Nepal? It's not the internet that they banned. They went ahead to block social media and criminalize it. They banned it. So the children, they got offended. This has been happening for over 2 decades, for more than 20 years, up to 30 or more. So now, if it's 20 years, let's use the baseline of 20 years. And the children that led this protest were 13 years. Now, do the maths. 13 years old, addressing a problem that plagued the nation for more than 20 years. Were they born during the time this corruption started? The answer is no. They weren't. So when they started, both the ones that were born 30 years ago, 40 years ago, they all came out. You can see them. These are not just 13 years anymore. These are, everyone came out. They were fed up. Since their children decided to fight, they had to join their children in the fight. They got back their country. 13 years leading a protest. Oh, it's the foreigners that came into Nepal. They came into Nepal based on tourism. Oh, they came into Nepal based on remote working lifestyle, digital nomads and everything. They are causing problems. They are putting constraint on the public facilities. It's a lot of... These children got fed up. China, for Christ's sake, is 1.3 billion people. India is 1.4 billion people. America is close to 500 million people, you know. There is nothing like constraint on infrastructure or public facilities. And yet these countries welcomes millions, even France, Denmark. They welcome millions of foreigners in their country. Public facilities is not overloaded. The children, they have to think. But go to a country they call South Africa. Foreign migrants in South Africa. That's why I said even if it's 5%, so let's use the baseline of 3%. They are not up to 3%. 3%. But somehow, the 1% that are the corrupt politicians leading the entire country had to turn around and point their fellow black Africans and say, these are your problems. They are the ones that made a loaf of bread to become ×3 the original price. They are the ones that made public transport that used to be 10 cents or $1 to become $10. It's the foreigner. Go to South Africa. Everyone is busy looking for their own fellow brothers. They are foreigners. That's not up to 1% in the country. Let's say South Africa population should be like 50 million people. Foreigners in the country are not more than 1 million. The real foreigners in the country are not more than 1 million. The others are more of neighboring countries from Malawi, from Zimbabwe, from Lesotho, and so on. But the real numbers, they are no more than that. So now the entire country turned around to say it's the foreigners. Which of the foreigners? The black African foreigners. What type of black African foreigners? Zimbabwe, Nigeria, Congo, Malawi. They are the cause of hardship in South Africa. They are the cause of unemployment in South Africa. I had to put South Africa in this very line right now because it is a nation that the politicians told in clear terms that it is the foreigners that are causing the problem in the country. The same thing the Nepalese government told the Nepalese people that, oh, it's the foreigners that are responsible for this. But the children said enough. They had to, the last straw that broke the camel's back was the social media ban they banned in the country, that took place in the country. They said enough is enough. They had to get into the street. How many blacks, how many African nations can do such a thing? That's why I said Africans are useless. God made a mistake to create them. No apology. No apology. These people said enough. It happened in Sri Lanka. It happened in 4 countries around there, including Sri Lanka. It happened. What happened? What happened? Sorry for the volume. What happened in those 4 countries? The citizens had to take the bull by the horn. The latest one is Nepal. 13 protests that changed the country. A revolution that changed the country, led by 13 years old children. Go to Nigeria. 13 years old children, girls, are all around prostitutes. I had to repeat it twice because it is the reality. 13 years old girl in Nigeria can brag about spending more than $20,000 for body enhancement operation when there is no money in the country, where there is no electricity, but a 13 years old, a 15 years old can spend more than $20,000. The Nigerian, you earn $1,000 from your business in a month, and you live over $20,000 every month. Where is that money coming from? These are logical questions that needs to be asked. Go to the diaspora, you will understand. A Nigerian working in the diaspora or having a business in the diaspora, your total income for the month is no more than $2,000-3,000. But you live above $10,000 every single month as a Nigerian. Where is that money coming from? Igbos, Nigerians, Yorubas, Africans. Your money, your success, your wealth has no origin. It has no trace factor. You cannot trace where that money is coming from. That's why Africa, Nigeria, Igbo land is the way it is today. That's why. These are logical things that should make you think. But when we sound like this, you see a useless idiot called an Igbo fellow from Nigeria coming out to talk rubbish. That's why I dislike them, because of their mentality. Their mentality is so based on materialistic gains, with no political willpower, with no positive moral sense of thinking. Where their head, their brain, their spirit, their DNA, everything is concentrated is get the money at any cost and live as a slave forever. That's why Nigeria is the way it is. That's why Igbo land is the way it is. I don't have apology. This is ancient Igbo. If you listen to this broadcast and you get offended, you can go to hell. We don't care. We will never ever care. Shameless people. Shameless. I will come back to Nigerians. This is just an intro to what brought us out here today. We are moving to the next phase very quickly. Okay.
What's happening in Nepal right now is a great example of what happens when the elites can't protect their useful idiots, aka the politicians. You see, the truth isn't being told. They're telling you that the reason why the Gen Zs have stood up in Nepal is because they pretty much shut down all social media to prevent disinformation from being spread, aka the truth from being spread about the political corruption in Nepal. And so once they realized that they lost control of the people, the elites actually allowed all of the prisoners out of Nepal. So murderers, rapists, everything out of the prison system, and they're the ones that are doing all of these damages and burning parliaments and everything. They've actually lynched a lot of politicians, including murdered the prime minister's wife by lighting their house and palace on fire with her in it. Yeah, and that's literally how the elites, these elite classes, operate. And the politicians who are low-laying fruit idiot losers in Canada who think that they're going to be protected because that's exactly what they were told they were going to be protected, don't really realize that when shit hits the fan, the elites...
Now, let's stop it here. You see this lady, she's in Canada. She's in Canada. She's now taking the narratives from another angle entirely. She had to break it down. What led to the breakout of peace in Nepal? She brought it down to a positive conclusion. You heard that the prime minister's house was set ablaze, and the wife of the prime minister was right inside the house. They burnt her down with the house because they were fed up. It's not just about the internet. It's something that had been there for long. And they said enough is enough. You see the way she analyzed it. She even abused the political class in Canada that are causing issues now. No, now Canada wants to say, oh, the overload that we are having in our country right now seems to be like an influx. Okay. I'll stop this one here so that I will analyze this one. Let's take it back a bit. Now, they want to put it that, oh, it's the influx of migrants into Canada that is causing problems in Canada. That is what the narratives they are giving in Canada right now. But look at the way the lady analyzed and insulted the Canadian political class, which you can never ever do in Africa, in Nigeria. You can never ever do it. Once you do it, that is the day the bloody identity of Jesus Christ and the Islamic God, both of them will rise up to fight for criminals. Islam and Christianity, their gods will rise up to fight for politicians, for corrupt criminals. So tell me, is there something not wrong with our worship system, the Islamic system and the Christianity system? Is there something not wrong? Stupid people called blacks. When you catch them red-handed, that is the day they open all manners of religious books from Quran down to the Bible. Start preaching love, peace, forgiveness. But when they are at advantage, they open the same book and show you where God said, punish these people. But when they themselves are at fault, they open the same book and show you where God said, forgive them and pray for them. Look at her analysis. Now, we are going to take this way now. Because why I post this video here is for you all to see the prime minister, no, the finance minister of Nepal trying to escape. Then, Tekken brought him down with a flying kick. Hurricane. So let's go there. Watch it.
Politician.
You saw that. That was the finance minister escaping, and look at the kick. Just watch. I'll pause it right there.
Politicians.
You see the kick.
More
caught him.
politicians.
Look at him. After they caught him, they took him there.
Wait for it. Wait till you see the guy in the underwear.
Look at the finance minister. The one they kicked. They took him to the canal. You can see him in the canal. Can this happen in Nigeria? Can this happen in Nigeria without Jesus jumping down from the sky? Kumuyi and Adeboye, both of them will call Jesus. That day, Jesus will come to Nigeria to rescue them. Jesus will come that day to rescue them. Look at the Minister of Finance. Look at him moving in the water like Christopher Columbus that discovered America. This is the Nepalese Christopher Columbus trying to discover Nepal. Look at him in the waters. After taking the kick, they took him there.
Now, the psyops that's going on in Nepal right now is basically they're saying since you burnt everything down, you burnt all the evidence that these politicians were corrupt. No, they didn't. It's all digital. And I'm pretty sure there's hackers out there that could help the good people of Nepal prove that their governments are corrupt. And this is also a very good reminder to the liberal idiots that this is actually what a coup looks like. And this is also another good reminder to the politicians that you will be on the chopping block if we...
So you see, oh, they have burned down the evidence. They forgot that we are living in a digital age. You burn down what evidence? The protest is the evidence that is needed. They don't need anything. We know how they dole out contracts worth billions of dollars. But such contracts are never ever carried out. So how come? No, I want to know how come. They say that there's no evidence. But the good thing that happened there was they got the results. So there is no need to start searching for evidence. The next phase.
Okay guys, these scenes coming out of Nepal right now are unlike anything they have ever seen before. So after they forced the Prime Minister to step down just a few hours ago, they have now stormed and set fire to the country's Parliament building. That's the equivalent in the US, for example, of them setting fire to the US Capitol in Washington, D.C. Absolutely wild. In fact, some of the politicians inside had to be evacuated by army helicopters. They captured the country's finance minister. They stripped him down to his freaking underwear. They paraded him through the streets and then threw him into a river. There's footage of all of this. They set fire to a bunch of different politicians' home residence, including Nepal's former prime minister. His wife was still inside and she was burnt alive. There's also been hundreds of prisoners who have now escaped jail, and this was because a bunch of protesters broke into the premises. Reports say 773 inmates escaped from one prison, while 127 escaped from a separate one. In fact, literally as I'm recording this video, the Nepal army has just said that they are going to be taking control of this situation. They said effective from 10 p.m. local time, but they did not detail what this might be. Honestly, every hour this gets crazier and crazier, so I'll keep you guys updated as we know more. Okay guys, these scenes coming out of Nepal right now are
So you all heard that. You all heard that. These are live analysis of what happened in Nepal. Because when it started, Ancient Edu, we brought it out here live and we showed it. But now it's just a recap of events, because the next program we are going to roll out, we wanted to do it today. Let it be a double package, but it's going to be first thing tomorrow to do it. So it will continue, it will be a continuation of what went down in Nepal, because now we are going to bring it to the motherland. Then we narrow it down home to Nigeria. Then when we get to Nigeria, we will not take it straight down to the eastern part of Nigeria or to the southern part of Nigeria. So we can now expose every madness that has gone down there and that is still going down there. We will expose everything, leaving no stone out of it. Okay? You heard it. The prime minister fled, the wife could not. So she had to be burnt inside the palace. The palace now became a sanctuary of her death. You see? Here we say it the way it is. Then if it's a Nigerian content maker, instead of saying, oh, they burnt the house and the woman died in it, they say, oh, it was alleged that they burned the house and the woman died. Can't you see that Nigerians are idiots? This is someone from US making the analysis, calling a spade a spade. The other lady is from Canada making analysis, calling a spade a spade. Even the other video, we won't play it here, from CNN, calling a spade a spade. Then when it gets to the Nigerian side, these useless things called the Nigerians, you will see them. They will set a building ablaze. You will see it. And the Nigerian content maker or reporter will say, oh, it was alleged that the building was set ablaze. You are looking at the freaking building burning and you say it was alleged. These are people that are educated. These are people that have masters in whatever they studied, their discipline. These are people that have PhD in whatever discipline they studied. You are looking at the freaking evidence and you are calling it alleged. Nigeria, black people. Useless. No apology. You see this video, you get offended, fuck off. We don't care. Look at analysis here. This guy has, I believe, over 1 million followers on each of the platforms. So let's say plus or minus, he should be having more than 3-5 million followers, thereabout. Freaking calling it out the way it's meant to be. The Nigerian will never do it. They will never do it. Every second you touch them, they are always, in fact, they are sold out before you negotiate price with them. They have already sold out. That's the black man for you. That is the black man for you. A beast of burden, a very terrible thing. Stop. So I'll stop it right there. This is another scene from the event. How protesters broke through the police barrier. Now, the ones you see on the right side of your screen, that corner there, and the little ones you see by the left side of your screen, they are the police. They just had to surrender. They allowed the protesters to go and carry out their business of the day. What was their business of the day? Incinerate the parliament, incinerate the prime minister's house, incinerate the media houses, take down the country, and change the government. This is Nepal. These are people that are serious with the business of life. They are not Africans that are only serious with the business of food. Only food. Then sex and drink. Alcohol and sex. Food. Those are the threefold ministry of a true African. Sex, alcohol, food. Under alcohol, you have the drugs, you have the smoke, you have any nonsense that they can use to add up to the alcohol. Under the food, you see them do all manners of evil just to have money to get food, which eventually leads to sex. Useless people everywhere called Africans. Shame on you all. 13 years old, turning the country around, changing their country. No African nation under the heaven will do this. No African nation. So we are going to round it up with an introduction of what the next video should be like. That is where we are coming from. We will be very, very volatile there. Very, very, we will be direct. We are not going to look on, I don't know, how will I put it? Trying to be politically correct, careful speech. No, we are going to unload it raw. Because we'll take it to Nigeria. We tear down the sections that we need to tear down in Nigeria. Then after tearing down that section, we'll now move it. We are going to move it to Ghana. Then when we are done with that, we now ask a legitimate question. Can Africans be united? What is the ideology behind Pan-Africanism? We'll take it to the one they call, what's the name of the Rwandan president again? Kagame, yeah, Paul Kagame. We are going to take it down to Paul Kagame and Professor Pielo Lumumba. Make you all understand why these people are useless. No apology. This is Asian We don't give a damn about how you might perceive our broadcast. So the best thing you can do for yourself is don't play with our broadcast. Whenever you need something to make you think like a human being, come to Asian Something will always stir you up to start thinking. Apart from that, any other side you go, you cannot be delivered. Here, we will deliver you from madness. But let's continue. Now, we are done with today's broadcast. We are done with today's broadcast. You see this entity on your screen? It's one of the political ruling class member of Nigeria. Why I had to bring her here is when the Nepalese revolution went down in Nigeria, counterproductive narrative have started springing up in Nigeria. Now trying to take the mindset of the people of Nigeria away from the event that was happening in Nepal. This woman came out to mention the name of a ruling governor, exposing the wife's sexual activities. How the wife was sleeping around with different men, including the former governor. How the wife is a prostitute. That is what this video is all about. You can look at her. She's an Igbo woman. Very useless thing. You see these Igbos? As a child, I've never liked them. I've never liked them because of one thing that they usually do. And that is what I hate about them. Once you bring them out, offer them money. You offer them money, they will sell their conscience and they will do anything for money. Don't get me wrong. It's not that there are not good ones among them. But why I had to put this thing out, Ibrahim Traore said, when the American general accused Traore of crime, why America needs to go into the country and arrest Traore. Traore came out and said one thing. He never cared about the black people. He said, why is it that whenever they want to represent anything evil in the world, it is always a black man? Whenever you want to destroy whatever that is good, it's always a black man. You know, in America, the district attorney that had to sue Trump over a frivolous accusation that holds no judicial ground, no moral ground. It was a black man that they brought forward that was talking rubbish from his nasty, filthy mouth. A black American district attorney. How he's going to bring down Trump. And when you listen to what the black man was saying, you know it was baseless against Trump. You see, whenever they want to make a narrative of something that is wrong, the black man is always there. How about Obama? Obama, in the history of America, what Obama did, nobody under the heaven will be able to do it. Not just in America, but in Britain also. Nobody in the West will do it. But they had to bring Obama, a black man, and he did it. Blacks is irredeemable. That is why I say, Igbos, what I dislike about them, that which is morally wrong in all ramification, put an Igbo man there, give that Igbo man money or woman, they will go there and support that thing without shame. They will go there. And so I've given you a little narrative why I had to use this, that I never liked the Igbos. Why I had to use it. If you like, edit it and take anything that you want to take so that you can say, oh, we'll use this against it. I don't care. I don't care. But the truth will always stand a test of time. This is a woman. This is a woman talking rubbish from her filthy mouth. From her filthy mouth. An Igbo woman. Oh, the wife of the governor slept with the governor's friend. I'm going to disgrace her. I'm going to disgrace her. If I'm your sister, will you not support me? Will you? Look at, yet she's educated. She's educated. Perhaps she could have master's or PhD in education, in whatever field that she studied. But this is her mentality. Black woman, Igbo woman. Go and check it. What is happening in Ghana? What is happening in Togo? Nigerians must go. Then when we now looked into the issue of why Nigerians must go, 98% of the Nigerians must go. We are all Igbo people. All Igbo people, that they should leave their country. You go to another man's land, you monetize it. You try to make them understand why you are God's people. Look at Nepal, 13 years old, changing the narratives in Nepal. When they fix the country, the 13 years old fix the country, the Igbo man will rush down there to tell them that he's an importer-exporter. But let us fix our own home. The Igbo man will sell out his brother as they sold out Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. And you want me, if I want to tell, oh, there are some good Igbos, fuck it, I don't care. If you are good, live up to the expectation. Live up to the expectation. That's how they sold out Nnamdi Kanu. A man that left his comfort, a man with British passport, a citizen, a British. They sold him out for money. Then when they did that, in the auditorium, in the church on the Sunday, a prophet that sees and hears from God now said they caught Nnamdi Kanu in Brazil on top of two women. Two women. And the church believed. Let us pray against Nnamdi Kanu. The Nigerian church rose up, started praying against him. Until we came. And it was fire for fire through media. Before the truth started coming out. Before we started saying, oh, they even went and kidnapped him. When we were shouting that they kidnapped Nnamdi Kanu for months, how many of you people listened? None. None. Later you say, oh, yeah, Igbo, support Igbo. See, we will never ever support rubbish. Like it or hate it. We will never ever support it. The Fulanis are looking after themselves. The Yorubas are looking after themselves. The Hausas are looking after themselves. But the Igbos, they are not. The highest an Igbo man can do is to destroy his own. Some time ago, we made a broadcast. Then we don't come up audio vision wise. It's just audio, not audio vision. So some people heard the broadcast. They liked it. They said, oh, whoever is making this broadcast is absolutely correct. They liked it. So they kept on looking for the broadcast. The day they got to understand that it was coming from Ancient Idu, because they felt that, oh, this guy is an Igbo, maybe we know him wanted. From that day till tomorrow, till now, till tomorrow, every broadcast we make is rubbish. They are going about, no, don't listen to that broadcast. It's rubbish. It's useless. It's because the idiots understood that I'm Igbo and I'm one of them. So now, whatever I say is rubbish now. But before, it was something. But when they understood, oh, this is the Ancient Idu, they hated it. That is Igbo people for you. They see their own trying to go up. They hate their own for no good reason. Expert PhD holders, pull him down syndrome holders. That is what the Igbos are. PhD, pull him down. That's what they are. If they can't do it, they destroy it. Ikenga in IPOB, Ikenga said, if the DOS that sold Mazinam Kano cannot bring the liberation of the land, the autopilot will never bring it down. The Ido people will never bring it. Instead, they will destroy it and let everyone cling to Nigeria and remain under Fulani. We never cared. We never cared. We are not fighting for Biafra. We are not fighting for autopilot. We are not fighting for anything. Where we stand on is on the ground of truth. This is what is morally right to be done. This is what is morally right to be done. But it doesn't work that way. Ikenga came out, made broadcast of how he directs Nigerian army to where his brothers, his siblings are. Why? Because what's the name of the man? Oba, that died, used to pay him from government. So Ikenga started working in the open with the Nigerian government, killing his own, someone that was under Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. You see why I said the Igbos are cursed people. Reptiles everywhere. Reptiles. Listen to the useless woman, because we have come to the end of the broadcast here. We are going to start the next one this side, because we are going to tear down the walls of witchcraft in that department called the Ebola. Listen to her.
But keeping na platform, say I Kenya fight the so. You suppose you there defending. I'm number one day, why won't you be proud of me?
I'll be your number one supporter.
So why you say I designate is that beyond repair?
Even the fool, you open the Pandora's box. You open Pandora's box, man. The guy
nobody in your room, you never was so to make that. You know, if he wants to damage me, my one on getting out when we and then I pack young when we
I'm aware.
I dismiss the wife, I debase the wife. I do come out. See how you come out of it. But you just happen to have already had to hear that. You just look with him, but you also slept with him, but you will get to anywhere. You're not with your I chose me. The only body calling now with the best person's wife. On your
Excellent.
if you can be fabricating all these things about me without me doing it, what makes you think I will not fabricate something about you?
Of course. Of course.
A woman look to my reputation, my level 4. She has to be where I am every time. I don't want to.
You see, she said, a woman that has gotten to her reputation, her level. What level? What level does she have? Did she not see a woman that is beyond her level, that tried to give people $1 million, children? They rejected the money and they beat the living daylight out of her. They said Soludo attacked her personality. The wife of Soludo, they attacked her personality. Why is it that this thing is coming up now during the Nepalese protest. That's why we say Nigeria is a crime scene. The story in Nigeria never ends. It's like Michael Jackson's Neverland Kingdom or World. It never ends in Nigeria. Every day, one new person must come up with one story and they will make it go viral. Everybody will start talking about it. While the Nepalese issue was going on, this one already has come up in Nigeria and destroyed the Nepalese story. Made it look light, made it look as if it is not that impactful or heavy. Simultaneously, scandals started springing up in Nigeria. Scandals from one scandal to the other, one scandal to the other. That is how the impact of what happened in Nepal died a natural death in Nigeria. While in other African countries, different issues started coming up in other African countries. They used it to distract the mindset of the things that call themselves African Gen Z. They used it to distract them because they are easily distracted. Look at her. If I'm your sister, won't you support me? The guy said he will support her. You support someone in wrongdoing because he or she is related to you, either your sister or your brother. You support them in wrongdoing. And then you want to, Ancient, don't say that. You're also an Igbo. One useless thing the other day told me, anybody that said his father is an animal is also the son of an animal. I said, yes. In as much as you know that you are an animal and you refuse to do the right thing, I will keep calling you an animal. That is the way it should be. Even if you are my father and you do that which is wrong, I will reprimand you and I will tell you that what you did is wrong. It doesn't take away the moral thing to do, the thing that is right and moral and just to do. So because you are my father and you did wrong, or maybe you stole public funds, or you humiliated someone, you treated someone so poorly, I shouldn't speak against you because you are my father or my mother. Then you are stupid. This is ancient to do. We tear down the walls of Babylon without giving a 2-cent fork of the response that will come from Babylon. So with this, we stop the broadcast here and we'll see you all in the next one. All right? Thank you. And from us here in the studio, bye-bye. See you when we see you. Join us in our next exciting episode, which comes up a couple of hours from now. Thanks.
When